Are you ready to optimize your website to increase sales and generate more leads? Subscribe to the show for weekly new episodes.
Hi, and welcome to the Marketing Optimization Podcast with Alex Design. I'm your host, Alex Harris, and today we're chatting with Alyson Lex. How you doing, Alyson?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. To get started, what would be your definition of optimization, and why is it beneficial?
Optimization to me is, well, I'm a copywriter, so creating copy that converts in the best way possible using whatever medium you're using, because I like direct response. So direct mail is not off the table for me, although I know with optimization and conversion, we're usually talking landing pages and sales pages. But really, whatever you can do to get those numbers up, that ROI up, that response rate up, that's optimization. And so split testing, I'm sure, is something you talk about a lot. But really, different headlines, different call to action, maybe a slightly different price point, different offer, all kinds of fun stuff you can play with in the copy.
Yeah, I remember I was first getting started as a website designer, and the first project that I was given was to create email newsletters that drove traffic to landing pages.
Yep.
And we were doing direct marketing. Okay, and that kind of made sense to me. Direct response, you do this. You have to end the paragraph or the sentence at a certain point so their eye flows down.
Yep.
So it was really interesting to me how direct response and direct marketing copywriting, it tied so well together with web design.
It does. It really does. And I think that, from the design perspective, which is not necessarily my zone of genius, which is why I like working with people like you who get it, but it's all designed to keep you flowing, keep those eyes interested, build the interest, build that desire, get to that offer. And of course, then click that button and fill out the credit card information to buy. So the design and the copy really work hand in hand with that. And when you're optimizing, I think a lot of times you optimize design, you look at how big the headline is, above the fold stuff, header colors, and what picture is going to convert better. But a lot of times you forget sometimes that copy has a really big place there too.
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm working with direct response copywriters, they tend to write either the sales letters or a little bit lengthy more because they're writing to those specific personas and trying to get into the mind of different buyer modalities. Yeah. How do you kind of balance the right amount of copy with the right amount of design? I know it's a hard question to answer, but it's always one of the most challenging things that I have to deal with.
It is really tough. And a lot of times now when I'm writing copy for the web, I have to look at not just the way that I write good copy, but also the way good design has evolved. I mean, you have your parallax themes and one of my favorite things are, I don't even know the name of it. This is how not webby I am, but the plus signs and minus signs that expand and contract those sections and things like that. You can really play with some of the really nice elements to then incorporate that in your copy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you got to go.
Yeah, those like the accordions.
There it is.
That open up a plus and minus, nice little JavaScript open windows. The tech people will understand what we're talking about there. But it's a good place to start because when we're doing wireframes and we're trying to figure out the right amount of copy, what goes above the fold, how far does the page scroll, is it a landing page versus a website or a microsite? It's all very important, kind of knowing where the traffic's coming from and then writing to that specific audience. Is there a process that you go through to find the right headlines, the right copy that's going to give them relevance and value to get them to actually take action?
Well, my process is a pretty lengthy targeting process. I actually I'm building a product with a business partner, but it's going to be part of that workbook. But I call it my 4-step targeting process, which is knowing who they are, which is your demographic information, how old they are, what gender they are, that kind of thing. Knowing a little bit more about them, like the social stuff, what they like, their vacation spots, the books they read, then how they interact with you. Their buying habits, their frequency, their amounts, their interaction. Have they left a review on your website on Yelp? Or do they interact socially? And then the psychological conclusions that you can draw from that, which is what keeps them up at night? What do they want more of? What are they paying you to solve? What problem are they paying you to solve? And things like that. So if you work through all these questions, which are not very few of them, it's quite a few, you get to these questions, and really that's what you want to answer. What are they paying you to do for them? What problem do they have that they want you to make go away? What are they worrying about every day? What are they dreaming about? And that's where you're going to find your I call it copy gold. That's where you're going to find that.
Well, it's a great strategy to start with. I actually recently just did a workshop at PubCon, and we did how to create a high converting landing page. And half of the day we spend on the target audience. We come up with ad hoc personas, and we try to understand what problems are actually going to go wrong with the landing page actually before creating it, and then actually writing out the story of that potential person who's visiting your site. In this case, Jeffrey Eisenberg, he likes to do it in reverse chronological order. The conversion is the conversion, but what happens after the conversion? They go home and they have a nice dinner with their family. They're able to pay their bills. It's much more than the person who's achieving that goal on that specific page. It's what's going on in their daily lives, what's going on in their mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Are there particular tools that you use to kind of gather this research and insight at the beginning?
To research and get insight on your market, you can do everything from the first thing you should do is subscribe to what they're subscribing to. I mean, if your target audience reads Dog Fancy magazine, then you better get that every month. I mean, that's just how it is. You need to be in their heads, following their favorite Twitter people and their favorite Facebook pages. Follow and see the conversations they're having, begin to care about what they care about, or at least see what they care about. And then, of course, you can stalk them directly on social media. I don't really mean stalk, but you know what I mean. You can start clicking through their pages, see what they're talking about, see where they're going. And then, of course, you can survey them. If you have a list already, create a quick 3-question survey. Give them a really cool freebie to say, hey, I'm going to ethically bribe you to take my survey and please answer these 3 questions that are important to me. Or you can have an in-depth conversation with them, with a few of them or a sampling of them, and ask them some of the really important questions.
It's great because that insight that you gather from those surveys, it's really that gold. We use tools also like Hotjar, actually on the page, when after the page is up for a certain amount of seconds, then the poll pops up and asks them, what's the biggest challenge in their life that they're going through right now? Or what do they want to learn from you? What more can I put in my podcast? You probably have seen it if you went to my site, or many other people use Hotjar.
Yeah, I've definitely. And I think there's actually a lot of, Ryan Levesque has a book, Ask, which is based on surveys. And that's how you start your funnel, is with a survey. Like, surveys are huge. I haven't read it yet. It's in my stack of books to read that just keeps growing over here. But it's a lot of people have said great things about that book and his strategies as far as surveys go. So there's a lot of info out there about it.
Yeah, and it works for all the different industries. Even with like e-commerce, I was working on a pet-related site the other day, and majority of the people were asking in the survey box, if I order this today, when is it going to be delivered? How fast does it ship? And those are all these patterns of language that people were asking. So you can just take those questions that people are asking, add them to your FAQs, add them to your shipping and returns policy pages, so you can basically answer all the questions that they are asking in their heads that are causing friction for them not to convert.
Exactly. And, you mentioned that it's that language. And one of my biggest things lately that I've been teaching on is using the language that they use in your sales copy. Using the actual words that they're using. They're not saying, what is your shipping policy? No, they're saying, how fast am I going to get my stuff? Use that language in your sales copy, and it's going to make a lot more of a connection for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That voice of the customer, even in those surveys, if you set up like a Survey Monkey, a 3-step question, getting people to sign up for that, you're going to see a lot of the people asking about the same things, or maybe not believing that the claims that you're making on your landing pages.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to find out so much information through a survey or a Hotjar, Survey Monkey, Hotjar. I use Instantly. I prefer that one. It's also free.
Oh, okay.
But there are so many tools out there for it. You can just Google it probably real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you go through in your new, I guess, as a course or your membership, Ask a Copy Expert.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, because it's really unique.
Yeah, so we're actually, as at time of this recording, we're revamping the membership. So I'll tell you about the new stuff. So it's my partner and I, Julie Boswell, and I'm Alyson Lex. We're Glazer Kennedy, former marketing directors. So she was my boss, and then I took her job when she left.
Oh, wow.
So we've been friends for a really long time, and we have created a group where there's access to us on a regular basis. You can ask us questions. We have a Facebook group. You can post a link and say, hey, how does this headline look? And we can help you really work your new headline, figure out how to get that converting higher. If you're split testing and you're like, this one sucks, we can make it better. And then the new part of the membership is that instead of having a weekly open call, we're going to have daily call-in hours, 12 to 2 from Monday to Thursday. Schedule a call at least 24 hours in advance so we can map out our days. But you'll get 10 minutes on the phone with us, laser coaching. You can ask us anything you want, and you can schedule a call every day if you want. So up to 16 calls a month.
Yeah, that's great because I know that I work with a lot of PPC companies and obviously clients who need landing pages, and we're constantly iterating on ads, Facebook, Facebook headlines
and copy,
and it's consistent. And if you're not using the best copy, then you're probably not getting as many people to your site as possible. You're not getting the reach in the content. So, what are some of those challenges that you're dealing with people with their landing pages these days?
The biggest thing I see is that the landing page doesn't have anything to do with the ad. And it's an immediate disconnect, it's an immediate distrust, and it's an immediate big red click out X. I mean, it just is. And a lot of times I think people try to cram too much onto a landing page, too many calls to action. I think one of the things that you teach and one of the things I teach is ask them to do one thing and only that one thing, and hammer that point home. And so, download this or sign up for that or attend that. No. I'm confused and I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So really those two are the biggest mistakes I see.
Yeah. And on the, getting the landing page to match the ad, it's not as hard as it used to be. Now you can use things like Unbounce that creates landing pages for you, and then use dynamic text replacement to actually change the headlines based on the ads you came from. So it's super easy to do, and you can also code that with PHP or WordPress if you wanted to do that as well. But it's not as hard as it used to be.
Right.
Because when someone goes to Google and they type in a certain query, you're basically the landing page trying to solve the problem that they search for. So just have the headline match exactly, make it results driven and quantifiable, so it's easy to understand when they arrive there, and it's specifically matching the ad that it just came from.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can do it in low tech ways too by running ads that match your landing page. I mean, if you have, if you're saying this is the problem I'm going to solve, have the landing page at least address that problem somewhere. Your techie way is much sleeker though.
Well, it's so interesting to me because now we have all these different tools, and it's become more important than ever to segment your different marketing channels. Google AdWords should go to very specific PPC landing pages.
Yes.
Facebook ads should go to Facebook style landing pages, more like lead magnets, give away content, get people to read your blog posts. Even Bing can actually work differently than Yahoo. You may want to try something differently there. Right. And then the obvious other one is mobile. Making sure that you have mobile specific landing pages versus those ads as well. A lot of people doing mobile in your course?
They're in our course. They're really focused on, I think, Facebook ads where we are. But I think a lot of course, with the more recent updates where you get dinged if you don't have a mobile friendly page. So everybody's got the mobile friendly, but they're really focused on Facebook because that's where most of our members' customers live.
Yeah,
and Facebook has that mobile app versus I don't know that they're. If
you're buying Facebook ads,
you can say mobile.
Yeah, mobile
desktop,
or not.
Right.
Exactly. So if you do click that mobile advertisement,
make sure they're mobile.
Make sure you have a nice call to action, something clear above the fold. Give away something for free. It's people tend not to like longer forms coming from Facebook. It seems like it's better just enter your email. opt in for a webinar or a lead magnet. That seems like the most highest converting thing these days.
I think so. That's definitely what I've seen more. We did actually try selling a tripwire on Facebook, a $1 trial, and we were not successful. So even $1, we were not converting to cold traffic off of Facebook. And I kind of knew that going in, but I was like, apparently I have some money to burn. Let's test it out because why not, right? But no, it's definitely free lead magnets, ebooks, webinars. I think ebooks and webinars are really or those like free challenges are very popular these days. Email courses, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Even in the e-commerce space, obviously you need to sell stuff to get a conversion, but I would actually not recommend starting with promos or coupons. Don't lower your brand, your brand equity by giving away a bunch of coupons and discounts, because people are going to expect that. Do it during the holidays, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but give away specific PDFs based on your content related to the dog site. You could, how to train your pet in the 5 easiest ways, and then target very specific audiences, because those conversion rates are really, really a lot higher than AdWords.
Absolutely. If you happen to, I'm sure there's a dog training group on Facebook. If you happen to target people in that group, or whatever you can do with Facebook targeting, have them follow that Caesar Milan guy, and then have a PDF that says, trouble training your dog. Here's how to get them to sit in a weekend.
Yeah.
I'm on that, especially if I see that ad on Friday night, right? And then you can sell them on different training aids and things like that. So look at the problem that your product is solving and figure out how information can solve that same problem.
Absolutely.
And there's your lead magnet.
Very cool. Yeah, it's become a lot more unique than ever, because when I first started, you used to be able to put up anything out there and it would convert. It was just because people didn't have such a lack of trust in people these days. People think that their information is going to be stolen. So maybe having some social proof, key principle of persuasion from Robert Cialdini, social proof, trust, authority, making sure that people like, know, and trust you when they build. You talk about this stuff a lot. Can you give us your explanation of it?
Absolutely. So social proof is testimonials, other people who say you do what you say you're going to do. And then the authority, even going back to the pet site, like as something as simple as a PCI compliance shield can really go very far. If I've done it. I've been online and I'm like getting ready to click the buy button. I'm like, nope, too skeezy, can't do it. And I don't buy because I don't see any kind of shield or the little lock up in the URL bar. I'm not using any technical terms, but I know PCI compliance. That's the one I got. But any of those things that convey trust and authority, or, a Yahoo top 100 rated site, if such a thing exists. I have a construction client and we have Best of House Service Award 2015.
Oh, yeah.
Huge, right? Angie's List 2012, 2013, and on. Like, those are other people who say you do, who agree with you, who back you up. And the reason is that when other people say something about you, it goes further than when you say it about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And those embeddable tweets are now very popular too for social proof. That's a good way.
Absolutely. That's a great one.
Yeah, having people talk about you so you're not talking about yourself. A great way to do it. And of course, maybe you've graduated from college, or you got some type of certification if you were just getting into entrepreneurship and things like that. But if you've been in an agency, maybe you're Google certified or optimizing certified. If you're an attorney, you may be part of some type of bar group, or super lawyers is a big one. So any of those specific seals, make sure that people know those, because that's going to really get you over the edge versus your competition.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you have any professional designations that make sense, if I'm selling my marketing services and I'm sitting here talking about how I'm an ABR certified realtor, that's not going to matter as much. But any professional designations that make sense for what you're selling. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about you. How can we find out more about you, and maybe start the Ask a Copy Expert?
Yeah, so askacopyexpert.com. Please don't judge my website. It's under construction. We're working on it. I've got a list that's this long and a day that's this long. But So you can head there and learn more about me and Julie, and we'll have some contact information up so you can catch us on Facebook. I have my own Twitter, which is the Alyson Lex. ALYSONLEX. And if possible, I'd love to offer a free template that you can opt in for. And that's at freegiftfromalyson, again, ALYSON.com/template.
Very cool. And what is the template for?
The template is actually a copy formula that's going to show you what to write, where to put it, and how it should look. So it's geared more toward us long form folk because that's where the world I like to live in, but it can be shortened too, and you can use it in just about any way you want to use it, any medium.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll check that out too. I always have a problem putting together a framework for a new page, so I'll check that out, see if I can incorporate it into my workflow.
Cool. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Awesome. Cool. Well, as we close out, what would be the next step that you would tell optimizers to take to improve their copy? They already have landing pages today. How would they get to that next step in improving their conversion rates by improving their copy? The biggest thing that I would tell you to do is what we touched on is to really look at your targeting, make sure you know your audience. I think a great step to take today would come up with a 3-question survey that you can send out to your list right now, and just start to get some of that information in so you can get a really clear picture of who your ideal customer is. Thanks a lot for your time, Alyson.
Thanks, Alex.
For weekly new episodes and an archive of over 100 digital marketing experts, make sure you go visit the website marketingoptimization.tv. And remember, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Later.